Coming up on City Spotlight, we're on location in Effingham, here in Season 9. First, we'll talk with Lucinda Hart, President and CEO of the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce, about the latest economic development in Effingham, an update on the Effingham Regional Career Academy, and upcoming activities for the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce. Then, we sit down with the new Superintendent of Effingham Unit Schools, Andy Johnson. Andy shares how his first year as Superintendent of Schools is going, what's next for facilities within the school district, and how the current school year is going for Effingham Unit 40 Schools. We're on location and getting caught up on Effingham, here on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And hello and welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. As you can see, we are on location once again here in Season 9. We're taping here in the early part of February 2023, and we are back at a familiar place, the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce, as we are taping here in Effingham. We welcome back to the program a returning guest to the program, Lucinda Hart, President and CEO of the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce. Lucinda, great to see you again.
Thank you for having me. Yep.
Great to be back in Effingham here in the early part of the new year. And I saw Lucinda near the end of 2022, and I want to ask you about a place that gets utilized quite a bit in Effingham. That's the Keller Convention Center. Probably not a week goes by that place is not being used.
Oh my goodness, I know. Yeah, actually yesterday, my husband and I went. There was a home show going on, so we went there, and there was a lot of people there, and of course we had the Chamber Gala a couple weeks ago at the Keller Convention Center, so it brings a lot of business to the city for sure. Location
is great, and don't talk about this every time with community leaders such as yourself, but Effingham is a good-sized community here in Central Illinois. And regardless of size of community, it's important for every community to have some kind of venue like the Keller Convention Center. I know Effingham probably has more than some others because of the size, but what an asset to the community to have a venue that is a destination for so many things to be held at.
Correct. Yeah, we have so many, like you said. Of course, Keller Convention Center is one of our largest one, but you know, we also have our event center, which is where the chamber actually has our manufacturing days.
Okay.
And of course we have the Altamont. There's the Carriage event center over there that they have. So Teotopolis Banquet Hall. So lots in Effingham County, not just Effingham, but around the county. So.
Give us some highlights of maybe some newer businesses that kind of popped up or flourished in 2022.
Yeah, so the big one that was huge for the county was Flexingate. You know, so they are. They moved here, I want to say they opened up in October, in the fall of 2022.
Okay.
And I think currently they're at about 30 employees.
Okay.
They started their manufacturing process, which they make vehicle parts for certain automobiles. You know, I can't tell you the make and model right now.
That's
but
fine.
You know,
that's fine.
But Flexingate, and so they are looking into going into full production, I believe, in Q1 or Q2 this year. I want to say their 3 to 5 year plan of when they're at full capacity is, you know, 300 to 400 employees.
Wow.
So yeah, so it's definitely, that's one of the big ones that came in into, you know, Effingham County.
And that's a type of business that Effingham already seems to have quite a bit of manufacturing.
Correct. So, yeah. I mean, it's just the ideal with the interstate. So, you know, access to interstates and of course the rail as well. So it's definitely a lot of manufacturing. So we're really, really happy about that. So.
All right. Any of your existing long-term businesses that have been here a while have made any upgrades, noticeable changes that maybe you'd like to share with our viewers?
Oh goodness, there we had so many ribbon cuttings, and I didn't bring all my statistics
That's
with
fine.
me, but yeah, there was quite a bit. Of course, Sarah Bush Lincoln, right across the street from the chamber here, completely renovated their buildings, very
Wow.
nice and sleek looking. You probably, when you head out, can see
Yeah.
that. So they had a really great, grand opening, business after hours when they did that last year.
And healthcare, you have a lot of
Oh,
variety of
my gosh.
healthcare in Effingham.
Yeah.
It's a very, very important aspect of the
Yeah,
community.
yeah. So the Benuti Clinic here, yeah, so under Sarah Bush Lincoln. So several small businesses that opened up. We have Humboldt Soul Boutique that just opened up, which is the owner of the Beanstalk is the one that owns that. So it's one of our smaller business downtown.
Okay.
And we also had a ginger ales open up,
Oh.
which is actually started out in Jasper County, and
Very good.
they started franchising. What is it? The franchising. Is that the
Franchising, yeah.
franchising?
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so, yeah, so we have one here in Effingham now. And so it's definitely, I would say, a good mix of, your small businesses and, of course, huge manufacturing companies. Another great thing that happened here in the county is, of course, Stevens Industry opened up their daycare in the fall. And so that's an addition, another sector, I guess, if you want to call it,
Right.
that Stevens does with the daycare opening. That's great. So I would say it's really diverse. Of course, the big ones you hear about because they're they're larger and they
Right.
need more employers. But even the small ones, I mean, that's just it's great to see that growth.
And you mentioned there's so many in between, and we're not trying to leave anyone out, but just wanted to kind of get a little summary highlight of the last year or so. We taped with you, Lucinda, for the first time late 2021. Obviously, at that time, we much impacted by COVID. Everyone was around that time.
Yeah.
We're taping here at the beginning of 2023. It's pretty much, I think, the 3-year mark of when COVID got going. But as far as the community and the businesses, the many businesses you have in your chamber directory, I guess, everything feeling like it's back to whatever they call normal.
Yeah. I would say yes. We were very lucky here that once, a lot of the restrictions, we still have just because I think of, so our face-to-face events, great participation, but we still have the opportunity to give online delivery of whether it's a seminar
Right.
or our committee meetings, board meetings, and I think that's just kind of COVID just kind of gave that opportunity,
Right.
and people are taking, it helps, especially with our busy schedules.
Yes.
And so we have that opportunity still. And so there are a few that will take us up on those kind of offers. But for the majority part, I would say yes. We are back at it. We did in 22, we had a great year with all of our face-to-face events. So, yeah.
As we'll talk about probably a little bit in our next segment, talking Effingham Unit 40 schools with the schools, they very much had to lean on that. So I guess the advancement of technology and having to use that during COVID, it's just another strength and avenue for you guys to use.
Correct, yes.
All right, very good. So again, I first talked with you, Lucinda, late 2021. You've had now time to be a part of the community and you're involved in many different things. What have you kind of like, if you kind of like want to summarize what you kind of have learned about the community over this time? Because when I interviewed you, you were kind of getting acclimated to the community. But as we tape here, beginning of 2023, what's something maybe that you're impressed or have learned about Effingham in the time that you've been here?
We also last year went through our community mapping process, which we have. It's PAVE, so promoting a vision for Effingham County, and going through that process. And of course, now that I'm going, it's crazy that this is going. It'll be my second year here.
Time flies.
I know, in the next month or so, and to get to know, knowing not only the businesses but in the community, getting to know people in my community. I live in Dietrich, so
Very good.
is how the community is very involved and volunteering to make Effingham, improve it, to make it the place that people want to be, to live, to work, and to come and visit. So in so many levels, on the individual level, on the company level, and how much the support this community has to make sure that we thrive.
All right, very good. Thank you very much. Dating back to when Norma Lansing was running the chamber here, something that she talked about pretty much every time, at least the last few times I talked with her, was the Effingham Regional Career Academy. I know that's going strong, and curious to see what, how, from your perspective, how is it going, and what's the latest on that potential facility that could be up whenever?
Yeah. So things have really progressed on that. So I do serve on the, for short, ERCA. So the Effingham Regional Career Academy. So ERCA. I do serve on that board. I'm actually one of the officers. I'm the treasurer. So things have they've moved along. We are getting ready to. We actually, in the fall of 2020, had our first Explore ERCA class, and we had 13 students from around the county that participated in that class. And so we don't have a building yet, so the classes were actually at Patterson, and then of course throughout the different businesses, because they learned the different, the different career paths that have been set out. And so we identified the career paths. So we also are looking to, in the next, I would say, couple of months, to finalize the curriculums. And so we are also hoping that we're on, now, of course, the building is not, it's going to be, the ERCA is going to be housed under Cluthe Center, right? But and so it's my understanding they're on board to break ground actually so that we can be in the building by the fall of 2024.
Okay.
So
very good.
So they've hired an architect, plan. We actually have a meeting with them next week to discuss, finalize some details and stuff like that. So we are hoping, fall of 2024.
It's a good chunk of land where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Very good. There's a lot of buildings in that area near the Cluthe Center. Very good. I want to give you the last minute or so as we're taping here with you, Lucinda. Great to have you on City Spotlight again. Your chance, you just mentioned you had a recent big chamber event. Anything else chamber-wise that you'd like to share with our audience here as we continue further into the year?
Yeah, so March is going to be pretty busy for us as well. Actually, this month too, there's so many things going on. Of course, EffinghamCountyChamber.com. You go to the events section and we have all of our events. We also have community events listed on there. But for the chamber, one new one that we're doing this year is we're actually going to have a succession planning meeting. There's a lot, not for businesses that, you start thinking, you really should think about succession planning the day that you buy the business, not when you're getting ready to leave, right? And so we do have a lot of businesses recently that have transitioned, and so that was something that we are going to be doing that, and that is going to happen in April. Okay. But in March, before we head to April, we are going to have a live job fair.
Great.
So that would be on March 23rd. And then of course, March is when we celebrate International Women's Day. And so we will be celebrating with the women's event. We did that inaugural one last year. So we'll be having another one this year. And so, we just have so many, anywhere from, like I said, job fairs, of course, manufacturing day for our students, and letting them get to know about the jobs here in Effingham County. And so go to the website, and there you can learn more about these.
Great to talk with you in person at the beginning of the year before you get super busy. Give people at home a little preview, a taste of what's coming up. Lucinda Hart of the Effingham County Chamber of Commerce. It's great to have you on City Spotlight again. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll change locations and topics. We'll talk Effingham Unit 40 Schools with our new superintendent, Andy Johnson. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Effingham. And we're back here on City Spotlight, this new on-location episode on Effingham. As you can see, we have changed locations. We're back at a familiar spot, the school district offices for Effingham Unit 40. And we welcome back to the program a familiar face in a new location, Andy Johnson. He's the new superintendent here at Effingham Unit 40 Schools. Andy, great to see you again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate you taking the time and having some flexibility with getting this scheduled. So we appreciate that.
I appreciate
Good to be back.
I appreciate your flexibility. We previously interviewed Andy in his previous job position in Jasper County, but you're now here in Effingham. And for our audience at home, it's been a couple years since you and I talked, and you were down in Jasper County. Now you're here in Effingham. Talk about this new position for you.
Absolutely. Well, I accepted the position, I guess it was a year ago, November maybe.
Right.
So I had the position locked in to come to Effingham in the last year that I was at Jasper County. And we transitioned over, my family and I, basically July 1st of this past year is when I came in for the first day of working for this district.
Sat here a handful of times with your predecessor, Mark Doan. He kind of told me off camera that you were going to be the new person in charge of Effingham Unit 40. So glad to be talking with you here for the first time in Effingham. Just revisiting with you before we started talking here, as you told me the first time I interviewed you, you have a little bit of a history of working in this county before. So this is familiar ground.
Yes, I was very fortunate to leave Marissa. Not fortunate to leave Marissa because I really enjoyed that place as well. But we chose to come up to what I would call the Effingham area and started my career up in this part of the area as an athletic director and assistant principal at Teotopos High School. Several years ago. I was there about 7 years. And then I went to Jasper County and was fortunate enough to be superintendent at Jasper County for the last 6.
Interviewed so many educators now in 9 seasons of this program. It's a natural progression for educators such as yourself to either move up, lateral move to a new place. So what do you take from your experiences in Jasper County that you might help you with this position here in Effingham?
Well, I think there's several things. When I left Teotopos, I actually leapfrogged the high school principal's position and went straight from assistant principal, athletic director to superintendent. So the learning curve, I feel like, was pretty steep on the move to Jasper County. I was very fortunate to spend 6 years there, still had years on my contract. So it was a great relationship for myself, my family, and the district, I felt. As what I look back now that kind of prepared me for the position that I'm in here in Effingham. As Jasper County school districts are probably about half the size as the Effingham School District as far as employees and as far as the children that attend there and the budget and things of that nature. Right. So really got a lot of practice per se in the superintendent's role at Jasper County, and I was very fortunate to do that.
Okay, very good. So again, you mentioned you kind of got going this past summer of 2022. Still acclimating yourself to the district?
Absolutely. I'd like to say that the honeymoon's still still out there, but I don't think it is. I was fortunate to come in and work with my assistant superintendent here at the district, Jason Fox, for a couple months before he ended up taking a position in Decatur. Tried to learn all that he was doing and the pieces of the puzzle that I was going to need to pick up on after he vacated and headed off to Decatur. So again, I think the learning curve here has been rather steep just because I've been without a full-time assistant superintendent from the business standpoint. But I was fortunate that in working at Jasper County, it helped me prepare for a lot of those things that I deal with today in the role as superintendent, even at Effingham. So It's been a great transition. I'm very fortunate, great people, but the whole area is made up of lots of great people, whether it be Jasper County, Teotopolis, and or the Effingham area that I'm in right now. So been blessed to be in this area for several years now.
That's a great comment to talk not just about the community that you're in, but the general area. I've heard comments like that from mayors where they talk about the whole area that we're in, not just their respective community. Several times here on City Spotlight, talking Effingham Unit 40 schools with your predecessor, Mark Doan. Big work that he spearheaded the last couple of years, maybe 3 to 5 years was the time frame, was all the work done on facilities. Stepping into this position, your overall thoughts on all that work that has been done prior to you stepping into this position?
Oh, it's tremendous. It's $30 million worth of work done over about 5 or 6 years without raising the taxpayers' pay rate, the tax rate for the area. Now that's pretty impressive. You can drive several miles from here and probably not find another district that's been able to do that at the extent that this district has done. So really, really appreciative of that as I came in, and also try to put myself in a position that, to pick up where Mark has left off. And we've got more things to do. And again, we've got lots of buildings, so there's parking lots and things of that nature that we've got to look into. But boy, it sure was nice to come into a situation that's kind of been a lot of renovations and roofs and things of that nature that have been taken care of over the course of the last 5 or 6 years from Mark Doan and Jason in the business office that really have done a great job with taxpayers' dollars.
Having worked in obviously several districts in your time, and obviously some here in this county previously, you're aware that not every school district can be blessed to have a brand new facility. So there's always TLC that needs to be done. So picking up where Mark and the work that they've done here previously, what is something here moving forward as we're in 2023 that's the next set of work that has to be done, because the buildings always need a little TLC.
Right, sure. Well, unfortunately, we've got a couple monsters in our parking lots, especially the high school parking lot. I think that's the original parking lot, and it's about 20, 25 years old. Okay. So we're in a position to try to figure out how to get that replaced, and probably won't be something that we take care of this year, but we are looking into it within the next 2 to 3 years.
And also when you do it, because it impacts where people park.
Absolutely, it does. So it's going to take quite some time. That's a rather large parking lot that was put out there, and my hope is that we can possibly put concrete back instead of asphalt, so that lasts a lot longer. But we're looking at probably $1.5 million to $2 million project there. Right. So we're looking at some of those things. Really would love to at some point. Part of our strategic planning that we went through this past fall, we talked a lot about, from a facility standpoint, of getting our pre-K through 5th grade to a consolidated campus from a security standpoint, and being able to utilize staff and share staff across the board. So those are a couple things, that we're looking at as far as facilities are concerned.
Great, thank you for that update, and that'll be quite a task replacing a parking lot of that size. Let's talk about the current school year, the 2022-23 school year. We're taping here beginning of February, so we're past the halfway point. How's it going to this point?
Oh, I love it. As we talked about just before we went on camera, you said, how are things going? I said, they're busy. They're crazy. Seems like each day goes faster and faster and faster with more things that need to be done. And we'd like to slow the train down just a little bit if we could, but I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon. But when I walk away from it, when I sit down at the house in the evenings, whether it be at 9 o'clock at night or 6 o'clock at night, whenever I get there, just sit back and feel rather blessed to be in a district that has incredible staff. Our staff's done a great job this year. We're a lot better off economically than we've been in several years. I think Mr. Doan and the administration prior to me have done an incredible job of that. Just a really, really passionate group of people that work for this district that spend hours on end crafting their skill sets to a level that's really, really beneficial to our students. And that makes me feel good. But I'm excited every day that I come to work. And at 51 years old, I think that's saying something, because generally you get closer to the end of your career, you like to just maybe coast. And I'm not the type of guy that likes to coast. We've still got a lot of work to do.
Appreciate you being candid and sharing the impact that it has on you maybe on a daily basis, because it is an important job in the community to be a superintendent. Very good. When I last taped with you in Jasper County in 2021, obviously educating was a little bit different because we were still very much in the middle of COVID, and I hopefully, and I keep on saying this, but I still haven't stopped asking, are we to the point of where we're educating kind of under normal conditions? And obviously you're now in this position here in Effingham, right. But would you say the educating here is kind of back to whatever normal is?
Yes, I would say it is to some degree. Mm-hmm. I think the COVID years probably changed our profession maybe forever.
A lot.
Just really trying to hone in on what gaps need to be filled that were created back when COVID struck us and we had to go remote and things of that nature where we weren't, obviously in person. So I do feel like we're somewhat back to what I would call the new normal. We're not wearing masks, we're not testing, we're not doing lots of those things, fortunately, that force people to make decisions that we really, really don't want to put them in positions to make decisions anyway. But at the end of the day, the biggest and most important part for us is what that child that walks out of that door has received from our business on a daily basis. And I feel very good about where we are as a district across the board in that area.
You have that flexibility of obviously you want to educate face to face, kind of like we're talking right here, but you have that option of the technology that was, I guess the word maybe I'm going to use is thrust upon us to utilize short term, but it is also now a tool that you can utilize.
Absolutely.
If you have to. Very good. As we wrap up with you here, Andy, it's great to have you on City Spotlight and in this new venue for you. Your final thoughts here. You're progressing along here, year one for you. Again, how awesome it is to be here in Effingham.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed every ounce of it. My wife and I both live in town, or just outside of town in the Effingham School District. I've been very fortunate to see great families, great kids, great staff, great board members, community members across the board. I've spent lots and lots of hours already out into the community trying to find more partnerships and garner some more support to our kids that are inside the brick and mortar buildings that we do have in-house here at Effingham School District. I want the best for the community, not just the school district, in moving forward. So we've tried to emphasize a lot of partnerships across the board, and it's amazing what is in this county and the opportunities that are there. And I'm sure we'll turn over some more rocks in the future that probably open up some more doors of opportunity for our students and the community as well.
It's about the relationships. Very good.
Amen.
We're pleased to have Andy Johnson on again here on City Spotlight in a new venue here as the new superintendent with Effingham Unit 40 Schools. Andy, it's been a pleasure talking with you again.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. And that'll do it for our latest Season 9 On Location episode here in Effingham. Thanks for watching City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.